Well, welcome to this session. Thank you for joining. And I'm going to shortly introduce you and take you into the summer school. And afterwards, you can ask me all that you want and that you need, everything that I haven't answered already for you. So the session will look like this. First, we're going to start with the application process. Who's it for? And how do you apply and what are you going to get out of it. Then I'm going to show you the schedule, the locations, the transportation and accommodation if you need any of that. Then I'm going to explain to you what you need during the week itself and of course what you get out of joining this summer school. And afterwards you can ask me something that was unclear or something you still want to know, or any questions you have and anything that makes you hesitant to apply, even though you are excited to join. So for who's it for? Well, actually, it's for anyone who is a student. So the criteria that we set up is to make sure that this course is only for students, not working professionals, because it's unfair to them if the company pays. And you don't need any prior space knowledge. You don't need anything because it's going to be very diverse set of workshops and visits. And if you are excited and you have ambitions and you want to know more about the space industry, then this is exactly the perfect summer school for you, because in 7 days you'll get like a crash course in space. You'll learn about all the diverse sets that are there, everyone who is needed, and not only space engineers are needed, but all types of people are needed. And you will also find out if this is actually an industry you do want to work in and what kind of opportunities there are for you. So the terms for participation, the criteria we have is you need to have a valid ID. You need to bring your passport, and you need to be a first-year student and up. So that means to have at least 1 year behind you. You can still be a first-year student, but not that you start your college degree or something in September, because we want you to have a little bit of experience with studying. But it's okay if you just finished or you did your exams and you finished your master, for example, you're still actually a student. And if you're a non-EU, that's okay. That everyone is welcome. We've asked all the companies about backgrounds, if it's okay. And actually, all of it you can join. But you may need to have some accommodation, and I will get back to that later. So what do you need to do to actually apply? Like I said, if you match your criteria, you get selected. So it's not that complicated, but you need to match the criteria because we fund the prize as the Leiden Delft Erasmus Universities and the campus. So it's completely focused for students. We have some spots for young professionals, but they pay a different fee. You need to apply with motivation, so we know actually what you want to get out of it. And that's also for us to get to know you and for us to make the schedule better to fit your needs. You will receive a confirmation from us, then you register with the link, you pay in full, and you're in. And everything the price includes is the food and the transportation you see in the schedule. So if there's no breakfast, for example, so we don't offer breakfast, there is networking, drinks at Airbus. That means there's not complete dinner, but the rest of the days you'll have a complete dinner. And when there's a bus transport named, then that's included. Otherwise, we ask you to walk or take the bus because it's too complicated to actually rent a bus between, for example, Delft Central Station and the Delft University. It's actually faster to walk than to take the bus. So we decided not to rent a bus, which is pretty expensive. So the registration fee includes, like I mentioned, the food and transportation you see in the schedule. It's a non-refundable fee. That's why some people asked us, can we get it refunded if I can't find accommodation? We actually want to turn it around. Please go find accommodation, and if you find accommodation, then you can come back to us and then pay the registration, because we don't have a system to do the refunding process. So, and therefore it's not refundable, but unless, of course, in specific instances, well, something may occur, and then of course we can make it happen. But since our process isn't really up to it, this is not something we include right away. Like I said, the participation fee is pretty high, but it's funded by the Leiden Delft Erasmus Universities Alliance, and it's funded by NL Space Campus. So that means there are no scholarships because it's already a large discount, but it might be in the future, just not for this edition. So the schedule. I'll explain in the next slide, but we'll visit companies and university locations mostly. We have projects to work on. They're not completely defined yet because we're trying to find clients for every project, but these are a couple of ideas you can get: drones, space instrumentation, satellite data, and it's up to you to pick your own project. We always also have a project on space business, for example. We might have one on space law, Earth observation, and also depending maybe on some clients we have. And the clients are also the companies we visit. So West End, Airbus, ESA, yeah. And like I said, if you're in need of accommodation, I'd advise to go looking for it. And just like us as the team, we are staying at Leiden Central Station. There's a couple of good hotels there, so I'd advise to stay there. There's not much else, but this is actually the date or the location we leave from almost every day. So if you have a hotel near Leiden Central Station, you can even join the team every day to get to the locations. So this is a very specific overview of the schedule so far. And I wanted to share with you everything we're doing. That's why I wanted to specify it in this detail. Of course, something might change, but this is kind of the day overall. So just to go through it a little, not point by point, but just a little overview, is that on Saturday we start at 1 at Plant. Plant is in Leiden, and we're going to do a team building exercise. I took it out what the team building exercise is going to be because it's super exciting and everyone is really always excited about it. So I'm going to keep it a surprise. But you don't need anything. This is the only day you don't need a laptop. Then at 6 there's dinner. And there's a walk to Leiden. So that day is completely at Plant Leiden. Then on Sunday, it's completely going to be at the TU Delft, at the Echo building. So also an easy place to park. And you can walk from Delft Central Station. Then you have introductions by the teams, the projects. There'll be some workshops. And at the end, as you see, there's no dinner this evening because we wanted to give you some extra time before we have like a really full packed schedule the rest of the week. And also you can walk to the central station by yourself that day. On Monday, we start at 9, there's a bus, and the bus goes from Leiden Central Station. So Leiden Central Station to Estek. You can also park at Estek instead of taking the bus. We'll visit Estek, visit the store, and then we'll go to the Space Business Innovation Center by bus. Can also park there. We'll have some workshops, presentations, project time, and we'll visit West End after that. Can also go there by car. Then on Tuesday, we'll visit Unmanned Valley, also easily reachable by car. There's a bus that goes to Delft afterwards, because then we're going to go to Delft, well, same as on Sunday. We'll have a workshop by TNO, workshop Earth observation, workshop systems architecture, and we'll also do a tour at TNO, which is on the TU Delft University grounds. Then the group presentations are followed after the workshop of TNO. And then we'll visit S&T, which is in Delft, also easily reachable by car. Then on Wednesday, we'll go see Leiden Law. That's not that easily reachable by car. That's also why we walk everywhere that day, because it's in central of Leiden. So we're going to visit Leiden Law, we're going to visit Sterrenwacht, but then we'll have a bus to Esron from the Sterrenwacht. And that's next to the Leiden University. That's also not that easily reachable by car, but we can maybe try to find something. And then we'll go to the Lis, and after that have a bus to Airbus. And of course at Airbus it's easy to park. On Thursday we'll go to TU Delft. Also that's on your own. Then we'll have the space engineering part. We have Earth observation, robotics. Luna Zebro is lunar robotics, actually. Tumbleweed is Mars robotics. We'll have project times because you're going to need it. And we're going to take a bus to Demcon and visit Demcon. That's also easily reachable by car. Then on Friday, campus, also easily reachable by car. And then we're going to go to the Space Expo, have the final presentations, a tour, of course, and we end the day with barbecue and then an end party. And the end party, of course, is optional, really depending on what you really like. A lot of people find it very entertaining. It's a good way to network, but it's not mandatory. Now, what you need, like I said, a valid ID, some professional clothing, especially at the end of the week when you present to your client. And of course, also the professional clothing is kind of up to you. If you really want a job and you visit Airbus, it's a good idea to dress accordingly. And it would be nice to take your laptop, but not on the first day. Then what you get out of it, you get a certificate, you get a mission patch, and you can, of course, build your resume and your career. But most of all, you build relationships, because you can learn all you want, but if you do not know how to find the right person to offer you the job, you cannot get your dream job. And this is kind of what the whole week is doing, the 7 days, is really helping you building relationships, what's important to companies, what do they need, and actually just to show you what alumni actually say, is that we have 3 alumni who offered us their feedback afterwards, and all 3 of them do projects and work in the space industry. So the first, Stefan, he is actually now joining the summer school as a participant or as a support. And he's also supporting hackathons for the space industry. Francesca actually built her own startup. She's doing a pretty cool startup right now, and Felix is an intern at a company who offered a presentation for the summer school. So this is the presentation. I hope I answered a lot of your questions, and if you still have questions, please let me know, and I'm gonna end the slides now. So if anyone has any questions. Okay, if there are no questions, then I hope I answered all of your questions, and then we will end the session, and I'm going to publish it online so you can rewatch it. The schedule that I showed is a schedule that's internally used, so I'm not going to publish it. But of course, if you still think of any questions, you can, of course, just send an email. And like I said, everyone who registered after this Q&A that joined the Q&A can join for the cruise phase ticket price. And yeah, I hope that everything is a little more clear. And yeah, let me know if you still have any questions or any doubts or I don't know. Oh, yeah, there was one question actually. What I said, what I haven't answered. If somehow it turns out you cannot join a part of the schedule, that's okay. You know, it's not. I'm sorry, I get a question. Okay, I'm gonna finish this one. So it's okay if, for example, you have a mandatory presentation or an exam you need to be doing. What we want to prevent is people applying and not showing up for 4 days, for example, because then you lose the result you get from joining the summer school. But if you really are excited to join and you really want to experience it, but there is something that's bothering you or something that's preventing you from coming like 1 or 2 parts in the week, that's okay. Just talk to us, talk to the team, and we'll figure it out. And we'll also try to get you where you're supposed to be. Just talk to the team, it's okay. We just want people joining who are really excited to join. So that's why we put this criteria up. So I have a couple questions. Once I apply, do I get a confirmation email that you received the application? Yes. So you apply, like I explained, and then once you fit the criteria, you get a confirmation email. And in the confirmation email is a payment link. And if you paid the link or you paid through the link, that's when you actually have your spot confirmed. So until you paid, your spot's not confirmed. Is it possible to get a copy of the presentation? I have to think about this. Maybe a little shorter version, but potentially I can share some slides with you. If you can share me your email address, then I can share the slides with you. How much usually cost hotels in Leiden? They're not cheap, unfortunately. They are about, I would say, 100 euros per night. What sometimes also happens is you can find other students who are participating and share a room, or maybe try to find someone who offers a student who lives in Leiden or in Delft who wants to offer a place to stay. That's been happening more often. What we do is when you apply and you are registered, you become part of a WhatsApp group. So there's a group like 35 students, and there's usually someone who has a place to stay or has tips to get a cheaper place to stay. I think in Delft you can also stay. I have no idea about Delft because I'm from the team, we're staying in Leiden. But I think in Delft it may be cheaper, or you can rent a hostel. When will the group chat be made? The group chat will be made once the registrations have ended, which the regular tickets have ended yesterday, but there are some tickets still coming up. So I think the chat will be made in 2 weeks. Okay, thanks. So, like Katja said in the chat, if you still have any questions, send an email to summerschool@nlspacecampus.eu. And thanks for the questions. Thanks for the evening. I hope you get just as excited about this summer school as I am. And I hope to see you in a couple of weeks. Well, have a good evening. And yeah, talk to you later.